Hey guys, welcome to the COVID podcast. Today we are talking about things related to pregnancy, vaccine titers, what do you do with them, should you vax, should you booster, am I concerned about the ingredients in the vaccine? Let's get down and dirty and let's get to some answers. Hey guys, my name is Dr. Anna Maria Temple. I am your holistic pediatrician on call. My passion is to help empower, inspire, and educate families to raise healthy children in this COVID world. Many of you have already heard by now that I had COVID at Christmas, and I was inspired to put some stories on Instagram to help alleviate the anxiety, the fear, to bring some facts to the matter, and to discuss on how we could all navigate this whole situation with a little more sanity and a lot more wellness. All right, let's go see what we have in store for you on Instagram. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the COVID podcast. Today in the Temple household, we are on day 7 of recovery. I'm still doing well. John's cough is slowly getting better. So thank you so much again for all your well wishes. And also, I want to thank everyone for being so incredibly respectful and wonderful. When I first started my podcast, I was really concerned that I was going to get a lot of heat, and I would open the DMs and everyone has been awesome, amazing questions. So let's get to it. Question number 1, could my prior infection have helped me get over this infection sooner? Well, the facts are, May 2020, I came down with COVID. So did my daughter, my 2 sons. My husband never came down with COVID. We do not quarantine in the house, as we talked in a previous episode. And I did get vaccinated in May, as you heard previously. And my husband has also had the vaccine. Anyway, with this infection, this was my second one. I was sick for 12 hours, really horrible body aches and chills, horrible night's sleep, but then I was fine. And then John's first infection is this go round, and he's been on day 7, still recovering, doing fine, but taking a lot longer than me. So previous infection, I think natural immunity does help us in preventing really horrible consequences for the second one. Is that 100% of the time? Of course not, but it does work in majority of cases. Question number 2, are pregnant women at higher risk of being hospitalized or dying from COVID than non-pregnant women? It goes back to the same thing. It all depends on how my pregnant persons are taking care of their body. It still goes back down to our nutrition, our sleep, stress, environmental toxicity. Did I mention stress? Let's talk about stress again. The food that we're putting into our body. So each pregnant person has to care for their own body. And in my clinic, my mamas who are doing what they're supposed to be doing, according to, what I preach, have had COVID and have had very mild illness like everybody else, and the babies have been fine. And again, I'm not an OB. I don't see thousands of pregnant women. I have a handful of pregnant women, but my families live a very different lifestyle than the regular American households. Question number 4, what do we do with titers to the vaccine? If you decide that you want a booster, but you're only going to get a booster if you don't have any titers to the vaccine you already got. If the number is 0, that's pretty easy. Then you go and get your booster. If you're like, well, I'm going to get a booster only if I have significant number of antibodies to the vaccine, the question is, there's no standard number that says, okay, well, the number is 28, therefore you have adequate numbers. Or the number is 12, therefore you don't have enough antibodies. Because they're not running clinical trials like this, it is very difficult for your doctor to actually give you an answer like, it's 12, so they're like, I don't know what to do with that. Because again, whenever we get numbers to titers, let's say like the chickenpox vaccine, they're actually run clinical trials to the levels for chickenpox vaccine. So we know what numbers show us that we need a booster and what numbers say you're good to go. This is very tricky when it comes to COVID, just like for flu. Very difficult, and the situation's really dynamic. Bottom line is this: you're more than welcome to get titers. It gives you one piece of information, but it's not the piece of information. We're all looking for what is the one thing. Just like my people in my eczema online program, everyone's looking for what is the one lotion, what's the one food, what's the one supplement. There's never the one thing. So your titers can give you part of the information. The next part is, what is your lifestyle? Next question is, what are your comorbidities? Like, what other health issues do you have? Also, what about isolation and fear? Are you afraid of leaving your house? There's nothing shameful about being afraid. It's just another piece of information that is critical to making this decision. Basically, the whole thing is confusing. Titers can give you one piece of information, and you can use that along with other pieces like we talked about to make the decision that is right for you. Number 4, is there data to show that the vaccine decreases mortality and hospitalizations? There is. There is strong data that is very powered, that comes from good institutions like Harvard and the Lancet, British Medical Journal, etc. That does show that having the vaccine and having plus minus booster does decrease mortality and hospitalizations. That does not mean that 100% of the people are protected under no circumstances. It just means it decreases the risk. So yes, you can live an awesome lifestyle. You can get vaccines and you can get the booster and still die. Horrible situation. Still possible. It's just less likely than if you did not get the booster or the vaccine or the combo, etc. Question number 5. Am I concerned about the ingredients in the vaccine? Yeah. I'm concerned about ingredients in everything. In your bread, in the air, in the wrapping paper that you're using, in the sweater that I'm wearing, in the foods, the chemicals that I clean my house with, the products I put on my face. I scour ingredients in everything. Bottom line here is reducing the overall toxic load on my body. So when my body does come in contact with things that perhaps may be toxic, it is going to be able to detox it smoothly. What the heck am I trying to say? For example, when we drink alcohol, we're exposing our body to toxins. When we step outside into the lawn, if somebody has sprayed Roundup, we're exposing ourselves to glyphosate or to the lead in the soil. Everything in our life has a side effect. As we discussed, our cooking ware can be carcinogenic. The bacon can cause cancer. The alcohol we talked about. The fast food, Chick-fil-A, all the different ingredients, preservatives, they can all cause cancer. So my concern is, I'm worried about ingredients in everything. And that's why every single day I make extraordinary effort to decrease my toxic load on a regular basis, not just on the holidays, not just because I'm getting a vaccine, not just because of whatever, every single day, because it is all around us all the time, not just hiding in one little bottle. Question number 5, what is my opinion about people getting the vaccines and the boosters? I think it's each person's individual responsibility to talk to their physician, who's going to listen to them open-minded and have a great conversation regarding all the different concerns, all the various aspects. Is not just, hey, walk in, let's get a shot. Hey, let's talk about your life and your worries and concerns and what's going on with you in order to make the right decision for you and your family. It is not about mandates. It's not about what my next door neighbor is doing and my cousin's brother's neighbor. It is okay to do what is right for you and your family. And we just need to also be kind and respectful to the people that choose the opposite of what we choose and not discredit and no mudslinging, because the stress from this conversation is worse than the dang Omicron. And lastly, I'll conclude today's podcast with the following. The only thing I can depend on, and you can depend on, and we can be assured that's going to work, is our own immune system. And our own immune system resides in our gut. 80% of our immune system comes from our gut. So it is important to pay attention to the food you eat, to the plant points, to the amount of sugar you put in your body, the amount of alcohol, your environmental toxins, your movement, your exposure to sunshine, exposure to electronics, obviously only after this podcast, and maintaining your inflammatory load as minimal as possible. So when viruses, bacteria, fungi are trying to invade your space, you're able to overcome it with what Mother Nature has already given you. You don't need a whole lot of anything else. This video was helpful in alleviating some of your anxieties, and hopefully I answer some questions. Don't forget to leave me some questions below. Subscribe to my channel And don't forget to purchase my latest book, Healthy Kids in This Unhealthy World. And the links are below, and for a limited time, it's 99 cents on Kindle. See you next time with more answers to your frequently asked questions.